Back to ASUS ROG Dreamleague Season 2. I'm Luminous, and joining me today is Waga, and we're casting 2 games between Alliance and Tinker.
Yes.
It would be great if we could pull up some standings.
Yeah, it would be nice to see.
Of the teams.
Yeah. What do you think of these 2 teams? Like, who do you think favors in a matchup head-to-head?
If there's no lags involved.
Yeah.
Because yesterday there was some lag involved.
No lag. Like, fair settings, no rig.
I don't think it's Alliance versus Tinker. Do you know what we're actually casting? Nobody actually told us what we're casting.
It's the Finstack.
I'm just...
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I just threw everybody under the bus.
Finstack.
Yeah, the Finstack. Mom spaghetti, that moment. All right, so 4 anchors and a sea captain versus Alliance. You saw 4 anchors play really well yesterday.
Yeah, I saw 3 games of them, and they played against Fnatic and did extremely well in every single game. And the strength of their team really is, no matter really what they drafted, they knew how to play their draft quite well.
Yep.
What was important for the draft to work. Then again, I don't think Fnatic is, the team to prove yourself against, as they have actually not won a single game.
Well, even though they won 1-8, those games are much closer than, let's say, another team in a different division going 1-8.
Yeah.
And them being all stomps.
Okay, yeah.
So I think Fnatic's still a decent opponent.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with you with the 4 anchors and a sea captain. When you pick anti-mage into a void, and winning that game in a quite stomping fashion, because you know what you're doing.
Exactly. It's a matter of how you execute your draft. Because on the draft, when I was casting with Draskell, picking AM into Void is never really a strong thing. I mean, Void is a hard counter in the matchup, but it was not even about that. It was about them completely stopping the DP push from mid lane, etc. Just knowing how to manipulate the enemy draft. So I think they have an impressive understanding of what needs to be done.
Okay.
And their support execution.
So in terms of the standings between Alliance Tinker and 4 anchors and a sea captain, so far we haven't really decided what's the first, second, third place. So every game here matters.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Without further ado, let's actually jump into the game between the 2 teams. Finstack versus Alliance. And this is 2 games, because one of the game is played previously?
Yes, 1 game is already played, as
okay.
they had to play it on another time. And now we see this is game 2 then that we start with. Yes. And we actually have...
See, I'm surprised 4 anchors and sea captain actually banned Viper, because last time I checked, you could Enchantress mid and counter Viper.
Yeah, it's allegedly a hard
It's a
counter.
specific lane counter.
Allegedly.
I'm just reading off Reddit here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's proved.
9k MMR proved.
Yeah, so.
I would say this is more a respect ban, because Finstack played Viper twice yesterday and played it phenomenally by Valix. Won his lanes really, really hard against a Racer and against a DP. But it's a scary hero when he gets the momentum. But I almost would like to leave the Viper to get into the enemy and then focus on shutting him down. Because if you stop the Viper's momentum early on, he has no recovery. Like, there's actually no way for a Viper to catch up.
OD, like, if you beat OD in the lane.
Even more so, I think, because Viper really has no catch-up, whereas OD is known to, get the Treads Midas and then try to farm it on, get some items, then become relevant. But if Viper gets shut down the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes, he will never be relevant. Like, he's out of the game, pretty much. Okay, so 4 anchor is going to open up draft with Centaur and Witch Doctor, so fairly damage-heavy combo already right from the get-go. Witch Doctor giving you that late-game security, if you will. Yeah, and Trixie playing the Centaur. He played it yesterday as well, and it's...
I think that's one of his better heroes.
Yeah, he plays it really well. I mentioned it as well when I cast with Draskell, that Trixie plays really well on strength offlaners that just need to rush up in the enemy's face. And we talked about him playing Jakiro, but I don't think that's a type that suits Trixie so well. But he made so much space playing a Clockwork in that game, in one of the games, that I was surprised how much he could do.
So I think Centaur Clock, like you said, I think he's also fairly good at Bat Riders. Fairly similar playstyle, not a strength hero per se, but one that jumps in, initiate for the team, and then set the tempo.
He's also pretty creative at what he does on the lane. Like, he will try and find openings all the time, and that forces the enemy supports to focus on him, taking time away so they can't gank mid. I think the combination between Trixie playing so aggressively kind of protects Valix on the mid lane just by taking so much space.
Okay. We'll see if that's going to occur this game. And Brewmaster and Bat Rider is going to offer Alliance a ton of control. I actually saw Tinker with these two particular heroes from mid and off lane respectively. And one thing that came to mind is whatever else you're picking just need to do so much damage. Because who else is going to do that damage?
That's true. These are two cores that don't really dish out that much. Batrider can, but not really in the case where he just jumps and grabs someone.
Right.
It's more like when you're chasing someone, yes, Batrider hurts. But as you say, they need some heavy hitting supports.
So the three heaviest hitting supports are, to me, in my mind, is Witch Doctor, Skywrath Mage, either picked or banned, and then Ogre Magi.
Yeah.
So is there any other support that hits that
And there's
hard?
a very high chance also that Finstack want to grab up the Ogre Magi themselves, so they have to be careful about this. Ogre Magi and Witch Doctor is a great combination. And as for other heavy hitting supports, I would say Visage in the right scenario, because his damage is so high. Also, when you have the birds, you can solo kill people extremely easily.
AA also is there when you land that Ice Blast.
Yeah, but he has such a passive role though. Like, you want to have some damage pretty early on, I think, with the Brewmaster and Batrider.
Okay.
And whereas the AA is more like you're trying to get that level 11, because level 6 is still, it's decent, but it's not that impressive.
Okay. The other thing to talk about is that good thing that 4ASC has actually banned out Spectre, because Brewmaster Bat and Spectre has been sort of a combo for Loda. He plays it very aggressive. He goes like Phase Vanguard. He would actually die and buy back just to like join the fight again.
Yeah.
And when you have Brewmaster and Bat chasing them, Spectre could pick off a ton of kills.
Yeah.
And again, they take out the Spectre and now they take out the Visage. So it seems like 4ASC is onto the fact that Alliance have a ton of control, but not necessarily any way to really deal that damage.
Yeah, lacking damage. And on the other side, I mean, Finstack, we haven't talked that much about their combo, but they have plenty of control themselves with the Cask and with Centaur Hoofstomp. And they also have the damage just innately by the Death Ward and also by Centaur in general.
Right.
Deals a lot of damage. So we'll see what they grab up now. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Jerax just grab this Ogre Magi right here.
I think Ogre Magi, or if you're a little bit afraid, you could go into Earthshaker and just like, you know what, you could try to control us, but we're going to try to disrupt your initiation with the Fissure. But so far, they're going to pick up an Ember Spirit, a hard hero to control, at least for the Brewmaster. That Rider could definitely still get him, though.
I'm not sure.
Liking this pick, though.
I'm not liking it either, and there we go. They give away the Ogre.
Right.
Maybe they have like a plan with this, but I think it was pretty obvious that Alliance were going to pick a support. You know, there's no way they're picking their third core in the third pick there. So Finstack could have taken away a support from the enemy and limited them on having even less damage.
Yep.
And they also play amazing Ogre themselves, so I'm a little bit sad to see them go into the Ember first here. And Ember is not amazing against Brew and Bat, I feel.
I don't think so.
Because the clap slowing you already makes it harder to escape as well with your ulti on Ember. I mean, you're versatile, but Brew and Batrider are two pretty good chasing heroes and decent control.
Yeah, and now with the Ogre, you have a very, I want to say, easy way to remove that Flame Shield.
Yeah.
And then...
And a stun that you can't really disjoint, right? Because if he is in cast range and starts, you can't dodge it. It's not like a Vengeful.
Yeah. So maybe they have some grand plan for this Ember Spirit?
We'll see, we'll see. To be honest, whenever I see Ember, I kind of want to see a Magnus paired up with it somehow. And we have seen some Magnus lately, but I kind of doubt it will happen here, as in general, just Magnus and Centaur doesn't happen that often together.
Why not, man?
Why not, though?
Yeah, when you charge in, you let your Magnus have an easy initiate.
Yeah, well, I just think it's such a big thing to buff up the Ember Spirit with Empower, because not a lot of people want to go for that, you know, double Battle Fury type of build anymore anyway, but a lot of people do get one. And having Empower along with it just makes you so relevant with your Sleight of Fist.
Okay, so let's assume that there is no Empower. Whatever happened to the double and even triple Battle Fury build on Ember Spirit?
Fade it out, man. Fade it on.
It's still the best damaging build, right?
Yeah, damage-wise it is, but it's a matter of how much damage you deal if there are people nearby or anything nearby.
Sure.
But people value killing single targets a little bit more with Ember's high damage from a long distance. So going for the crits, even the double Daedalus build, is more reliable if you want to bring down a farmed enemy carry, for example.
Okay.
Whereas if they 5-man push, which was really the meta a while back ago, I wouldn't say that it's the case anymore.
That would be the go-to build.
Yeah, exactly. Then the
five-man
Battle
death
Fury
ball.
was easier to play out, but now people gank a little bit more, they split up more. You know, the Slark kind of run around everywhere play. Here we're going to see a Medusa, though, being drafted up as well as the Bristleback, of course, for Finstack.
Yeah, this Medusa is going to work out really well in my favor, because if you look at the way that 4 Anchor and Sea Captain is going to play, they're going to just run at you. Apart from Ember and Witch Doctor, the frontliners, the Centaur, the Bristleback, most of the time they're going to just come at you with the Stampede or just Bristleback charging in. So having a really easy way to say, all right, everybody back off, turn around, run away, is a good way to kind of control the fight. But then you look at these heroes, Bristle and Centaur, how exactly are you killing them?
Bristle happily turns his back on you, by the way.
Yes, yes. So, also,
yeah,
how do you kill them, and then how do you protect Medusa?
The deeps have to be there from Medusa. I think they have the ways to protect her right now with the Brewmaster and Batrider control. Also with the Ogre Magi just being Ogre.
Okay.
You can protect her fairly well, but the downside is going to be she needs to deal plenty of damage with Medusa. And if I see her go Linken's this game, I'm going to be really sad, man. Like,
well, Linken's is a terrible item.
Bristleback,
yeah.
You don't want it at all. And I also think the Bristle is a low-value item on Medusa.
I think this game is the perfect game to go like a Waga build on Medusa.
Yeah.
So like the Mask of Madness, BKB. No, seriously, because
dude, it's good here.
I feel like you need to have such high damage output, like almost even glass cannon damage output.
But she's not, yeah. I know what you mean, but she doesn't really turn into a glass cannon with, of course, for the viewers who don't really get what we're saying now, it's like going into early, like Face Boot, Mask of Madness for farming up, into maybe Ayasha if you want to, but BKB, most importantly, and then going for an early Divine just to have a power, like a peak, at where you are definitely the strongest. And I think they have the right type of draft around the Medusa to play it. And looking over to Finstack, they don't have the best single target burst.
They actually don't. I mean, Centaur gives you a decent amount.
Yeah, but he's the only one.
Well, I think Bristleback, if he could get in and hit you.
Not really burst, though. You need to chain stun the Medusa completely, and Bristleback needs to go up and punch you. That
for a while, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really happen if you have BKB and Medusa ulti.
So there are some like heavy damaging spells, like the Maledict comes to mind, the Death Ward, the Double Edge, but I don't see them having that high of a control now with the Rubik being the final pick to actually dish out that damage.
It's surprisingly hard to burst down a Medusa before she BKBs and ultis. If she has mana shield on at all times and full HP going into the engagement, you're not going to burst her before she clicks her stuff.
So given the fact that we feel that Medusa is somewhat okay, are you looking to pick a fairly aggressive support and maybe punish them on the laning phase? Because it's 3 melee cores here. You can kind of roam on them fairly easily. I know Witch Doctor and Rubik is maybe a little bit annoying to roam into.
I think they will play towards their own strength, though. I think they could potentially roam a little bit Wigger, but I think they're going to pick a more passive support now as a second. Could even go into the Ancient Apparition still, to be honest. But I think they're going to try and play to farm up the Medusa, because late game, with the drafts that they have right now, sure, Finstack is not horrible, and Bristleback can become a beast late game.
Yes,
he can actually. But it's not that easy to play out the Bristleback Ember kind of lineup against Medusa. And also Batrider grabbing you, distorting the fight quite a lot. You know, if Batrider grabs someone, pulls him back behind the Medusa, and then she ultis, gonna rush into that, that's extremely hard, and they're even more control and saving.
Yeah, this is an extremely passive support. Earthshaker is gonna get the final pick. I mean, I feel like this game is gonna be a game where 2 teams is gonna hit like kittens in the mid game.
Yeah. A little bit, but we could see a snowball effect from Finstack, though. If they get the levels going, they can actually deal a lot of damage. Also depends on how much items we're going to see stack up on Valix. Seems like Valix going to play Bristleback, so maybe a solo mid Bristle?
No, he sometimes switch off to the safe lane.
Okay, yeah.
He played, I think, safe lane Viper one time when I was casting.
So Matsuba is probably just going to run mid with the Ember anyway. Works out pretty well, because Ember does really well, in my opinion, against Brewmaster or whatever he's going to face up against mid.
So normally when you see a Batrider and Brewmaster, you say Blink Dagger timing is kind of the most important. How important is Blink Dagger timing? I feel that it's might not even be the kind of defining item for at least Alliance.
Not in this game, I think. I mean, sure, you can maybe find some pickoff and get like a tier 1 tower for it, but it's not going to be the big make or break, I think. The more important thing is, how is the progression going? Are you keeping pace with your enemy in terms of farming the Medusa? And are you falling behind or getting ahead?
Yeah.
And if they could potentially get a Blade Dagger pickoff, if they can secure the bottom and tier 1 mid tower, then they have Roshan open, right?
Yep.
No tier 1s close to Roshan would mean easy ages for the Duza, and that's a big factor, I guess. So in a way, in the extension, it's important. Oh, they see him here.
Actually, Zoo is rushing ahead. He's got boots first, so 8 Mother does not.
Yeah, but it's still...
Yeah,
he could have grabbed him, but it would be so far away. He would be almost under a tier 2 tower by that point.
Huh.
Gotta place a sneaky ward there.
There's no kind of like inherent jungler from the side of Alliance, but they know the fact that Batrider is going to need some stacks to recover, so...
Yeah. Batrider and even Medusa can have some stacks early on, so it's good to keep tabs on this and just know what the enemy is up to. I like that ward. It's pretty sneaky. Also plays out well if you want to snipe the courier, which is something a lot of teams don't really try, but it gives a big advantage.
I like the ward, it's just I don't like it when you have a Batrider on your side, because there's some instances, we might even see a first blood here. Looks like the Ignite's going to ham out, and a couple already napalm stack.
There's no way he should be dying.
It's going to force out South. Well, he's going to have to hoof stomp. He might actually die.
He waited a long time to hoof.
There's the boots on Admiral Bulldog. Ignite's going to call him a cooldown. He can't really juke into trees. Yeah, that's dead. First blood. And Admiral Bulldog trying to creep aggro. Yep, it's going to get it off properly.
I think he has to regret. He's going to get a return kill here. Jack's going in. They might get 2, actually.
No.
You got to chase after.
Well, it depends on the
Centaur's
TP.
Here.
Okay. Now Ake's going to try to go the other way. Zoo's going to get the body block tossed back into Cal.
Okay.
And, well, Trixie's going to get the easiest return kill. So who came out ahead there? I want to say Radiant.
Yeah, I say Radiant as well. Sure, I mean, we can look at the pure numbers and we see that they get a little bit more. It's also about the experience change, 250 versus 130, so getting more out of it. But
the fact that the Centaur is farming now and the Batrider doesn't have go for teleport. He's walking back into lane.
Yeah. Also, we have Witch Doctor just being sneaky on top lane. He's sitting around and just trying to do whatever he can here. Probably gonna do a pull to get his creeps into a jungle and deny a little bit of experience.
Well,
but it's he can't get it here, not during the current push.
Yeah.
Since the Dire is pushing. But Loda should be fairly fine against that top lane with the help of Earthshaker. I don't think he's in any danger. It's a curious off lane this though.
I think once that lane gets to level 4, where Bristleback has 2 Quills and 1 Goo, in theory you can run down if the Shaker is checking the rune or ganking mid or something like that.
Yeah, you could, but that's still gonna need Bristleback and Witch Doctor and the ES not being there. So like sort of ideal conditions kind of kill. So it's not that likely to happen. We'll see. Well, on the mid lane, I guess this is the most interesting lane to see how it fares in the early game here. And Matumba Man using his shield probably after a clap there before.
Oh, the damage output.
Yeah,
no
hurts
crits coming
quite a bit, but he gets some return damage by the value bolus.
Yeah. I think the most important thing for Alliance this game is not per se the items, but the play on 8 Mother. I feel that it's very important that you get a timely Cyclone either on the Centaur before he casts a spell, or better yet on the Bristleback when he's charging in and trying to get stuff onto your team. Oh, toss up on the high ground.
Wow, little cute play here by Jerax. That's a good harass.
Well, now they got a ward.
Yeah, they got a ward, free ward. Well, Ogre is not going to be happy sitting on that cliff, of course. And that's a lot of time denied for him where he can't.
They can't even upgrade a courier for like a minute. How is he going to get off that cliff?
You can get off it. Like you can push the TP scrolls up.
Oh, can you?
I did the same thing where I pushed an enemy up on the high ground with Magnus.
Oh, by the way, Magnus on the side lanes now is so legit because everybody checks for the first rune, right?
Yeah.
And then
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you just give them the skewer.
Yeah, give them the skewer and up onto the high ground. Oh, mid. This might be a kill here by Misery just coming in with ES.
Well, they don't have any spell damage. The clap's going to give him a slow. One more hit, but he sees a TP, and he actually backs off as a result. Couple more right clicks. It does not have mana for Fable. He magic sticks and then have it.
That's a happy Rubik.
Wow.
Holy crap. He's level 4 now. This doesn't matter if he cuts the trees there, by the way. He can't still walk there. So.
No. Batrider gave him the special delivery.
Okay, special delivery. He TP to the lane and got to try to kill Trixie here, just chasing him down. He has a big magic stick and got TP out. Is he going to get it?
Yeah, he's going to be fine. So that's Rubik. He's got 2 kills so far already.
Yeah, playing really well. I think that the Brewmaster could have gotten the kill and then died on the tower, but he thought he was going to be fine backing off and living.
Yep.
So he made the decision, I don't want to go for a trade 1-1, but instead he just died getting nothing and giving away a solo kill to a support, giving so much experience. That's the bigger part.
Yeah.
Never mind the gold that Rubik is getting. Getting EXP on this hero early is so key. Look at all the spells he can steal.
I feel that it's a little bit unfair to judge on 8 Mother. It's like, okay, you go into a Texas Hold'em game, and he went all in with a pair of 8s. And then he lost, right? Because somebody had a pair of kings.
All right.
But going on in on a pair of 8, it's not that bad. It's not that good. It's not that bad.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna say it's pretty bad.
Okay.
To be honest, when you know that there's a TP scroll on the enemy, it's like seeing one king on the enemy hand.
Okay, fair.
And having your pair of 8s and being like, oh, I'm gonna go.
Look, that's his last hand. You know, he's had to go all in. So
all right. He was done for the day, and he was gonna double up or nothing.
Right.
Okay.
So you know, it's not that bad. And it didn't work out, so.
It definitely didn't. So Bristleback actually gets scouted here, but
he's got 2 points. Or he doesn't have Bristleback. In fact, he's got Goo, and in fact, he's throwing it all on Loda, but.
A lot of facts right there.
That is a fact.
Mystery is also going to be dead right here, and that's
also a fact. Yeah.
I like that Value Snake. They're stealing a lot of mana from both the Bristle and Rubik, but Ogre is here. They're going to try and set up a bait with Loda again to try and get the enemy to go on them. But I think
they need that clarity. They needed clarity to run through. Also, Valix has no mana.
Ogre is hidden, though. They haven't seen him, and he runs into Jerax here. Oh, he doesn't see him.
Yo, this
jukes.
Rubik. Okay, Rubik's dead, I think.
Yeah, he should be completely dead.
The cast is coming out. It's bouncing back into Medusa. TP out. Oh my god, Medusa. Gonna get the last hit on that one.
Wow, he's getting so much mana with these bounces from the snake as well. It bounced down to both heroes and just stole even more.
Yep.
So maxing out the snake on this lane, working out pretty well. He does have 1 point in stat, so it's the 1 stats 2/2 build. It's perfectly fine to skill stats on Medusa, but
well, I think if you're gonna take points of snake,
3 in snake would have been better in this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe he felt a little bit in need of that extra health and whatnot.
It was the oh shit, I'm gonna die skill stats kind of stats.
Also, why is Mutumba Man have a casual poor man shield 6 minutes in a game flying out to him?
Well, most people when they play Ember mid will actually start with a poor man shield.
Right.
Because you get...
And if you want to get a poor man shield, you probably get it before your bottle, maybe?
I would say, but he has been playing a lot towards the Flame Guard and using that to farm up. Nice, easy kill here by Misery and 8-Mother. The Fixer, though, blocking him off, and he might actually lose the region now because of that.
Well, he might actually die, though.
Yeah.
The Clap's gonna...
He could, but he has mana with this. Oh, wait, he
used the region.
He wasted the region. Okay, that's a little bit sad.
Wow.
That's a little bit sad. Trixie here on bottom lane gonna get attempted solo kill by
There's no
Bulldog.
flame break, so it's gonna be a very tough kill.
Yeah.
Oh,
he could walk in on that, but the stomp is so scary. So he's gonna chase him down at a far range.
Okay, I think he's giving chase.
He's getting it.
Look,
no,
man.
He's not.
Look, pocket 8's going in, right? Like, okay, still died, but he doubled down on that.
Okay, he doubled down. Well,
actually, that's
Rubik. I would say
no,
this Rubik is definitely
still pretty bad.
That's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Rubik again getting tons of experience with his rotations. Really nice play here by Jerax and Finstack in general, just reading Alliance quite well. But Alliance also pulling ahead a little bit in terms of farm on their course. So that was a nice commitment, I would say. It is pretty technical to try and kill a Centaur, though, because if you get close to deal Firefly damage, he can actually stomp you. But if you don't get close, you deal no damage.
Yep. Okay, Valix coming into stealing a ton of that.
Skeletons.
Yeah. And one of the big Satiras, so.
Yeah, and he's gonna get the troll as well, so a lot of gold actually gonna go towards Bristleback here.
Is he gonna go earn?
I think he should. I think he should go earn. At least they actually already have one on Rubik, but
Medallion?
Yeah, Medallion is another value item they could go for. Very nice when you have Death Ward in your team as well, and even for Ember Spirit. So we'll see where it goes for it. But Ember just looking around here in the enemy jungle, being sneaky. He actually has a spirit out already he could jump to, but it disappears right there. So now he doesn't. Might get chased down here just by the disables.
The flame break misses, and now he's going to chase. There you go. I'm actually thinking that it's so important to rush the Crimson Guard this game. You're going up against a Brewmaster
split. For both teams?
Yeah, for both teams.
Yeah.
Although maybe you have your Centaur to go for the Crimson. But Centaur wants to get Blink first.
I would say Bristle should go for it.
Yeah, and it's not just that. There's also the Deuce of Split Shot that you could block a lot for your team as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because one team has Sleight of Fist and the other has the Split Shots. So Crimson Guard is a very strong item in this game. And we see Batrider now has the gold for his Blink Dagger. He's going to go for picking that up. So pretty nice timing.
So who's your first target?
The first target to gank should be the Ember Spirit, I feel. Even though it's a hard gank, he's playing very aggressively. And you want to punish this. Look at him. And how aggressive he's being. He might even get a soul here on Headhunter. Forcing out the ulti and then running away. might be fine here, but there's a long duration on these spirits.
Where's that Rubik TP? That Rubik is always here.
He's always there. He's actually behind. He's running in behind them now. And might get a kill. Yeah, he's invis.
In fact, it's going to open up on Misery, but Admiral Bulldog's going to come in. Fissure stolen. They're going to go right on Misery. The double edge is going to get 1 kill. Stampede is available, I think. No, he hasn't turned level 6 yet. Meanwhile, Brewmaster dies somehow on the back line. So.
Yeah, to the Witch Doctor even coming in. So really nice counter ganks by Finstack. The movement there. Just getting more out of these engagements.
I think this game is showing that if you have good and fortuitous rotation from your support, you could almost single-handedly win the early game. Valix in a little bit trouble up on the top lane. Gonna eat Ignite, but he's got his back turned, so no big deal.
Oh, Ember actually goes in here, and he has a lot of damage coming in.
Loda? Well, I think he's gonna get run down by another Sleight of Fist. Fissure not hitting actually anything. Admiral Bulldog's gonna get a lasso off. It looks like Ake in a little bit of trouble on the top. They can't even kill Ember Spirit. They might have another Fissure. In fact, is it gonna turn back?
He will try and get the Searing Chains, but he can't really run him down. He's going to run up instead and look for these Ogre. But Ake should be safe if he just runs in behind his tower and he can get TP. Oh, the Fissure! He's getting him.
Urn? Where's the Urn? He had an Urn. He double tapped it.
No,
he was so excited.
He was so excited. I think this Ember is just going though.
Okay. It should be easy kill.
Nice juke spots though by Ake, running deep in.
Oh.
He's safe. He's actually safe by now.
He actually had a salve the whole time. He just didn't use it.
Yeah, that's Ake. Yeah. He just knows. But this fight, I don't think that Finstack is in a good spot. Okay, Batrider comes in, but the Witch Doctor.
Okay.
Plenty of damage.
There's a Rubik in there still, as well as an Ember Spirit that's kind of out of mana. They're running on the field, but here comes a Stampede. That's going to help out a lot on the Radiant side. It looks like help to disengage. There's an Urn Charge on Zoo. Maybe he's going to have to use it.
Go down here.
Fissure? He actually walks back in because of the turn rate. He's trying to go on Loda, but Loda has got mana shield, so.
Yeah, it was pretty close to getting off a Fate Bolt down there as well, but Loda would have been fine with the mana that he had. He was actually gonna regenerate. And look at Loda, he's going for a lifesteal build early. So maybe.
This is the Wagga build,
man. I'm getting pretty excited here. He's going exactly the items I would have purchased, so maybe he knows that he needs to get some strength early on, because I just don't think he can play a slow game against Finstack.
Not literally strength.
Not actually strength, just damage. Mostly damage.
Strength for the team.
Yeah, strength for the team. So Bristleback trying to clear Ancients here. It's a little bit hard to do with 1 point into Bristleback. He does get a 2nd point now, but he's going to clear it off with his maxed out Quill Spray.
Again, he probably should have bought the Vanguard first before he did this.
Probably should have taken that little trip up there. Would have made it a lot easier. But it's still fine. He's going to get it. Not really getting all the damage onto every Ancient with his stacks, and even losing the stack on some of these Ancients. But he gets help. Boofy is here.
Is Boofy going to take a big dragon?
Take a dragon. I would have taken a dragon. It's like the tax.
It's a healing tax, man.
It's the healing tax.
You can't just get voodoo for free, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so right now, Bulldog is actually topping the net worth, followed by Bristleback. So Bulldog is having a good game, and they keep trying to stack up for a Medusa as well. But he's not finding the pick-off, like the clean pick that I'm looking for on this Batrider. It was a pretty chaotic fight on top lane, and hard to tell who was really going to come out ahead. But ideally with Batrider, when you have your Blink Dagger, you want to get just go and pick anyone who's trying to farm up a lane, grab him, and just have Ogre dunk on him.
Yeah, but we kind of talked about in the beginning that it's not maybe nearly as important in this game to find those picks compared to other games. I mean, because the people you're trying to pick is Ember, Bristleback, and Centaur. They're pretty tough kills. And I think maybe just respecting the fact that there is a Blink Centaur, and that Rubik is just so pesky. Every time you're trying to gank somebody, the Rubik's there. So maybe he's just a little bit aware of that situation.
Yeah.
And not going for those ganks, but
to be fair, I mean, this game has shown, just like the Fnatic games have shown, or miss on the Ebola chains.
Is that what it's called now?
It's the new name now. They used to be called Bola chains all the time, and yeah. Anyway, but this game displays pretty much what we saw yesterday as well from Finstack. They played really well with their supports early on. Like, both the Witch Doctor and the Rubik. We have mostly seen the Rubik come in from behind and just kill people. But even Witch Doctor there on the mid lane was in the right position at the right time. So I think that's going to force Alliance to play more defensively. It is going to be a Mask of Madness.
Here we go.
Dude, I'm liking this. I like you, Loda.
So
he knows, man.
The build next is BKB.
Yeah, straight up BKB, I would say.
And then either a value Yasha and then just straight Divine.
Forget value. Like 300 damage, one item. Like, This sounds like such a trolly build, but what he has now is extremely fast farming speed throughout the jungle. And if they don't go to contest him, he will get core items really fast.
Right.
And you don't necessarily need to go for the all-in kind of build, but I just, you know, I advocate that build because I think it's the most
I mean, it gives you the biggest
build.
peak, right, in terms of damage output. Ammo Bulldog in the top lane, I think he's gonna be dead here. Yeah, Hoof Stomp, Double Edge. And I'm gonna have to extend something that you said about the fast farming speed in jungle. When you see Anti-Mage disappear off the map for like 10 minutes, you know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But with this build, because it's not exactly the most standard build, you can even
people
say
are not used to it.
Yeah, like when Loda disappears to Ancients or jungle, you're like, well,
you're not thinking that it's going to be that fast, but Mask of Madness and Face Boots is the most effective jungle farming. You could even add a value Killing Blade to get even more speed, but it's mostly about how fast you move between camps.
Yes.
That's why the Mask of Madness and Face Boots play well together, because it's partly hitting hard and fast, but
I would say it's kind of like a less greedy Midas. That's how I see a Mask of Madness. Just purely in terms of farm.
Don't really like the fact that he's holding on to points into ulti, even at level 10. I think you should have ulti because it bails you out so easily. I mean, he's playing towards his mana shield and wants to stay high HP. On mid laner, we're gonna see an attempt here on Matumba Man. Already has Spirit out, so he's gonna be just fine.
Good thing on Rubik, just instantaneously providing that lift, whether against the Brewmaster there or more importantly against the Batrider. But Loda, here we go. The farm is going to start.
Yeah, his team has been stacking for him, and they're going to come here and say, hey, we want to get the experience. I mean,
is Ake putting Bloodless? Is he skipping a couple of points?
Oh, bottom, we're going to see a grab here. Batrider jumps in.
This is a tough kill, man. Witch Doctor's going to come in. Fissure's going to break things up. No, he's actually going to go for the Valix kill, but the Batrider just died. Valix might actually live out of here. The Vanguard's going to do so much work.
Oh,
here comes the Stampede. They just all run, and then the Ember's out of there as well. Boogie might actually die, maybe.
Yeah, they should be able to bring him down, chasing onto him, but the entire team is just rushing in.
Maybe
and
not.
Finstack is getting ready to turn this.
Oh, the night fog against Boogie. Boogie still runs back in the tower. That Tranquil Boots armor. Oh my god.
The can they actually get something? Even if they don't right now, having just a primal split is so huge on Rubik. And that's a spell you don't want to give away ever, so it's so hard.
I think if you're the Finstack, you just push towers now.
You just go now, yeah.
Like
having the Brew Split turns your Rubik from being a support, never mind that, he's a core now.
Yep.
He can actually dive just as hard as a Brewmaster would. And
they also have a Crimson Guard just picked up on the Bristleback. So with those two items, you just go put, or with the item and the Brew stolen, you just go push.
Yeah. What Alliance need to do is just buy time for Loda because they don't want to take these fights. Sure, they tried to get a pick off. Bulldog actually died to the Witch Doctor.
I think the Fidget should have gone on the Witch Doctor and not the Bristleback.
Yes, I think that was a mistake trying to lock him because you already had the lasso just pulling him back, and you had people close by. So you're probably right there. But a little bit of a communication error.
Oh, they're going to steal the stack. Oh my god. I say this is actually maybe more important than getting a tower, would you say?
Yeah, it's bigger because it takes away from the enemy carry, in this case Medusa.
Yeah.
And he has to use ulti and back off, and this should mean that Alliance, they might be able to contest if they pull someone onto the high ground with Batrider, but they're not really in position to go here.
I mean, as soon as you jump in, there's a lift and the stomp, and here we go. They're going to focus on 8 Mother. He doesn't have to, the Fidget's trying to disengage, but the pullback, 8 Mother, well, he has to fight his own split now. The Stampede is going to apply to the Brewmother splits, or Brewmaster splits, and they're going to go around Loda.
He doesn't have ulti on Loda, so he might get caught here.
Yeah.
Lifting him up, trying to hold him in place. I think they can't kill him.
Where's the Dispel?
Maybe they can. The Centaur's there, ready to go in, jumps in.
Jeez. Yeah, they're going to get him and get him pretty fast.
The last hit Hoof Stomp. Okay, and Bulldog actually in trouble as well, and this is why you don't want to fight that much in the early game. Wow. The 0 fucks given ES ulti, just walking by.
They got him, but Valak's going to pretty much just get about everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Where's the Ember? Did Ember TP home during that? He did. He left the Remnant and just straight up TP home, but looks like the fight did not last long enough.
He's going to give a bottle as well to his Centaur, give his mana even higher here.
Yep.
So getting that Hoof Stomp mana back. So this is nice play overall by Finstack, and they're winning the fights so convincingly. But that's expected. You can't really take the fights as Alliance this early on. You have to evade your opponents. You can't confront them.
Well, here's the thing, though. When there's 4 heroes in your Ancient stacks, like, do you just say, you know what, we can't take the stack, you can have it, we'll just farm.
Push mid and push top. Like, you should just play around your opponents with this type of lineup that they have. even if they have the Batrider, which is potential pickoffs, they still have to realize that they're playing one man down right now. Because Medusa, sure, she farms fast, but you're not actually the best warrior in the world with 777 HP and taking increased damage from Mask of Madness.
Right.
So you kind of need items.
Lucky miss for Loda there.
Yeah, that was pretty close to landing as well. But just gotta just manner snake him and then try and get some help up here.
Wait, did it not steal any mana there?
I did not pay attention, didn't really see if it stole. So entire Finstack is now moving up to top, and this means that immediately we need to see pressure more on bottom lane by Alliance. They are going for it right now, and they need to hit the jungle with Medusa and just farm. So it's about playing around. At this point, I think they realize they can't take a confrontation.
Yeah, and I think that build that you're talking about on Dusa, it's more or less a timing build, right?
Oh yeah.
You hit a peak in a time that they don't really expect the peak to be coming, and then you just have to do something amazing with it. And every time you kind of lose fights and delay this peak, the build gets weaker and weaker, I want to say.
Yeah, but to be fair though, if you would have gone for any other build on Medusa, I don't think it would have changed anything up to this point. Like, he could have had standard, like, either drums or ulti orb or something. Valix, are they gonna try to go on the Bristle again? He's completely alone, but he does tank a lot. Even gets the Crimson Guard.
I mean,
they have to bring it down with spells. There's the multicast as well.
Well, I think they might actually lose one or two going back out here.
I think they might be fine. They're pretty far away still. Centaur, no ulti available. Tried to ulti to save the Bristleback. Didn't actually work out.
Here's the thing though, even though they got a kill, Dusa is not farming.
Yeah, because all this pressure that they're putting, I think that taking those two fights early on by Alliance was a big mistake. And they gave away a lot of their map control because of it. So now they have to play with limited map control against a team that's doing the best to utilize them.
Ooh, nice dodge here, and looks like Trixie's going to go down to this Brewmaster split. He does have a hood, a ton of regen. Here comes a Witch Doctor ultimate, immediate Cyclone by Amider, well done. And now they're going to try to run him down. Witch Doctor, or excuse me.
Gets the blink off, he's fine. And now Rubik in a little bit of a tough spot, but at the same time, Brew is being chased down. He does get his blink off before Witch Doctor can hit him though. So he's going to be just fine. But I think that the Bristleback, the Centaur, and the Ember are really using the map so much right now. Meanwhile, on Alliance, I mean, Brew is farming some, fighting some, but Dusa is not farming at all as much as you want to.
I like what happened in the last fight, what Alliance did. You go for like a play, it didn't work out, they didn't get the kill, but the more important thing is they drew Hero away from the Dusa, and he gets to do this.
Yeah.
Like, you just get to farm, and that's kind of all you really want, right? Sure, it'll be nice for you to get ganks off, but it's more important to distract for your Dusa. But now the hard part comes, which is defending these towers. And I don't think they can.
No, you can't really hold on to him. I mean, it would be really nice to have your tier 2 tower standing, but in this case, tier 1 tower for a tier 2 tower is a good trade for Alliance still.
Yep.
As long as you're getting something and you're farming your Medusa, that's the important part. And this ulti orb, I hope it's a Manta, and I believe it should be a Manta as well. Going into a Linken's now, I think makes no sense at all.
I think Manta is a fairly important item to get rid of all the slow from the Bristleback if you get focused.
That's fair, yeah.
Although one would argue that if you just pressure ult or pressure BKB, that would also do it.
Downside though is that this Ember is going to go Sleight of Fist with Battle Fury, and Manta style is not amazing against it.
Yeah.
But Manta is just his way of saying that I want to keep having a little bit more stats and be able to farm at a decent rate. I still think that rushing BKB would have probably been a little bit more optimal because Mithril Hammer gives you so much farm speed, but it also puts you in a spot where you're easier to gank. So we'll see. I just think that BKB would have given a nice timing, but maybe Alliance are aiming for the super late game.
Yeah.
Saying don't want to buy the early BKB because of how it's attached to the hero now and not the item. So you want to have your long 10-second BKB charge in the late game.
You know, I didn't really like the balance on the whole BKB change. I feel that, okay, if the goal of the change was to say, all right, 1 BKB per hero, then you should just make it such that if you buy a BKB, you can't ever drop the BKB.
Yeah.
So if you want another fresh 10-second BKB, yeah, you could buy another new one. It would just cost you another inventory slot.
Okay, okay.
Whereas...
So you would be having 2 BKBs in your inventory?
If you need, like if you are in such a desperate need where you need another 10-second BKB, sure, you could technically get
Okay. I think that would be too much, but I also get what you're saying with the BKB being, you know, something you just drop now when it's kind of served its purpose, and then keep it if you really need it. But I still think it's better than it used to be. Like
more fair, you mean?
Yeah, I think the swapping 4 BKBs kind of style was a little bit. Well, I'm not gonna say unfair because either team could have done it, but it's really annoying for support when you have 10-second BKBs all fights. And it looks like it's going to be a Scotty Rush actually by Loda now.
Not bad, I think. I mean, 3 melee cores, right? So
that's probably even better than going for the Manta because of the Battle Fury and even all the AoE damage from Finstack. I think it's more fair to go into this.
Okay, so despite Finstack playing, I want to say, really well, they're using the space of the map, they're controlling it, at least, you know, before the last 5 to 10 minutes. They definitely have a running clock, because if this game goes late enough, Dusa is going to take over, right?
Sort of, but I also think that since they're ahead with 3 heroes right now, farming so much, Bristleback will get out of control. And he will only be shut down during the Dusa ulti.
Here's the thing, though, like, as soon as, looks like A-Mother might have to spend his ultimate.
It might go on him here, nice stomp, and even get the clap stolen, and the damage is there.
My god, can't blink anymore, because new Urn OP.
New Urn, gonna stop this completely and just chase him down. They even have an extra Urn charge, gonna put it on him now. So no way he's blinking away, and there's the cask.
Yep.
Just staying on top of him. That's the saddest Bat Rider ever. He's like, where's my patch?
No 4-staff.
Where's my
Or did he have
patch?
a 4-staff? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he had the 4-staff ready right now, I believe.
Yeah,
so it was
on CD.
He used it already. Battle Fury gonna finish up now.
Okay.
But make your point too.
So you were saying that like Bristleback can get scary, but I really don't think so. Because if you look at the way that Brewmaster is building towards you, he's gonna be going for that Vlad's AC build. 10 armor for everybody. So that's gonna cut down on what Bristleback can do. We're gonna have a Cyclone for him when he's not in BKB.
Yeah.
And when he is in BKB, you have the Dusa form, Dusa ultimate to control him. So I feel like a lot of what's going to happen is Misery is going to force the TP out, but the blink lift from Zoo.
And he actually gets the Fissure as well.
The best spell.
Best possible spell to steal.
Yeah, there's just so many ways to control Valix that I'm not sure if he's going to have that late game impact that you expect from Bristleback.
Maybe. They're going to go for Roshan now, probably on Finstack as they get that pickoff. But I don't think you can put that much emphasis on shutting down on Bristleback when there's also going to be a Centaur and Ember rushing in on you. I think that the one true safety card you have is going to be the Dusa ulti, keeping you safe. But once that's gone, and Finstack can easily bait it with their Ember rushing in and then jumping out. If they bait that out and then take a fight afterwards, there's no way Alliance is going to win it unless they take an amazing team fight.
Okay, so basically the timing of the Dusa ult is going to determine a lot on the team fight. Bulldog, 4-staff, TP, blink, lift.
The Rubik just being on spot and even just a nice play in general by Ember jumping up at the same time.
That Rubik is...
He's playing really well actually, Jarex. Yeah. In every single game I watched yesterday and in this game as well, he has just been doing what he should be doing on the support, knowing exactly where to be. Makes me really happy. He's going to go for the lift here. Such a strong combo.
Yep.
It's a really strong combo on Rubik to get Blink Dagger and Fissure. He's basically ES times2.
Yeah, and that Urn, that casual on the Brewmaster, no ult, no jumping in ult for you at least, and here comes the ult. Everybody's going to disengage. They prop the Crimson Guard. Boofy.
Yeah, the Centaur ulti as well. They might do a runaway now. Centaur going in to distract him, even dealing a lot of damage.
Misery's dead again. Fissure, and here comes that ult. It's going to have to be used right now, but...
Oh, he stole it. He stole the Dusa ult.
Oh my God.
When he lands, he's going to get it off.
Well, he does have mana right now, but he does have 10 charge,
stick.
10 charge magic stick and an Arcane Boots coming back, and he's going to use it offensively? I'm not sure about that one.
Okay.
They'll disengage with it.
They get to disengage, but again, this is some really clutch play by Finstack in the team fights. I mean, Alliance, they tried. They used the Brewmaster split. They used everything. In the end, just lose a hero and get nothing, really.
Yeah, so Earthshaker died at the start of the fight. He bought back and died again. So we won't see that Blink Dagger ever.
Pretty much ever. Yeah, if you get forced to do this once as a support ES, you're just going to go to a corner and cry because you will have no bank. It's gone. And the likelihood of them taking a lot of towers against Finstack in this game, it's probably not going to happen either. So everything is on the shoulders of Loda now. And to an extent, if we can get a BKB on Batrider, and he can get some nice initiation, but I don't see who they're going to bring down.
Yeah.
Ember maybe, but you need to chain stun him?
Last fight, they tried to go on Boogie, which you could argue he's the squishiest, the Witch Doctor.
Yes.
And they didn't even kill him.
Yeah.
Because they force staff and then they stampede him out.
Yeah. Do you realize how tanky this Centaur is, by the way? Being close to Rubik, along with having a hood and his HP.
I think when he double edge, maybe he'll lose like 100.
Yeah, and he has evasion. So we should check that next time they group up, actually, just see how much passive resistance this is going to be. Now, as he's getting close to him here. So he's actually up to 55% magic resistance right now. Where are you at magic damage? I mean, he could get Echo Slammed and not even take that much.
I mean, I think Alliance is not really, all about that magic. They're more about that physical damage.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what they have to rely on.
Right.
And they have the double damage now on loadout with a bottle. So this is actually a very nice
That's timing. A Rune of Destiny, man. This could change things.
Yeah, it is the Rune of Destiny. And he has the Mask Commander, so he can definitely deal tons of damage in this fight if he gets to attack people. So let's see how they try and take it. Brewmaster ulti is online.
Here we go. They're going to start the fight by going right on the Earthshaker. They're blinking in, and here comes the Brewmaster ultimate as well. I think Rubik is also using the ultimate. I'm not too sure, but looks like on the back of the fight, Trixie, double edge, gets one miss before staff, and then echoes. Looks like Trixie's going to finish him, and Loda's going to die. And I think with Loda's death, that's got to be it. There's just no way. Even if they make a defense here.
Well, he bought back, but I mean, that's even more gold from your bank of the only carry who's going to save them here. Rubik does go down to Ape Mother, going aggressive, and his TP out should be fine. TP blink cooldown Centaur. And seems they are still fighting a little bit here. Bristleback just not manning down. Is this going to be a dieback?
Yeah, actually, the Blink Dagger got cancelled, but Woodchopper ultimate, look at that damage.
Yeah, they're just chasing him down, man.
Yeah, no running there.
That's the saddest snake ever. He's just trying to slither away, but in the end, Alliance realized with the dieback here, no chance at all to recover. And this was a dominant display, really, by Finstack.
Yeah, I think I don't really like the Scotty. It was really good in terms of like, okay, I got more health standing my ground, but it feels like you just want more damage.
I don't think you can put it on Loda and his build, though. I think this game you have to kind of say that they took fights 4-on-5 in the early game there against a team that's really, really dangerous to fight into, especially when they were already snowballing. You kind of have to give away your towers and just trade space. Try and get the tower trades, try and get the Dusa to farm up to at least that 14k net worth.
Yeah.
Because then he could have the complete build done. Instead, they try to fight when he was at 6k net worth and does nothing.
And there was a time where they traded a tier 2 for a tier 1, where they fought at the bottom, Radiant.
But that was after they had already lost 2 fights.
Yeah, so it felt like if they played with that intention of trading, going for the late game, would have had it.
They could have done it because they had the Batrider Firefly as well. So all they needed to do was try and read where Finstack was going. I say just trying to do that.
Yeah.
But if you know that they're going to push bottom, just go pre-Firefly before the wave comes.
Blink in, force staff out, Firefly.
Exactly. And then meanwhile, in Finland, you keep farming.
Yeah.
But not what had happened in this game. They tried to take some fights that were on their terms, but did not work out at all.
So with this particular win, I think 4ASC is looking as a possibility of coming out of group in the EU West region. And then you see Fnatic, Alliance possibly not making it. You have Tinker, 4ASC.
And Finstack are on a winning streak right now. They have won their 4 last games that they played.
Okay.
So
well, 3 of them was against Fanatics.
Which you said that Fnatic.
Just putting everybody in perspective here.
Yeah.
They are on a winning streak.
Okay, yeah.
Fnatic also winning with pair of pocket 8s. Apparently not a good play. I don't know.
Fnatic.
But yeah, next game's coming up. That's going to be the final game between Alliance versus 4ASC. Should be a very good one. So after a break, we'll be back with that game.